The third day came, and Muthuri's body was betraying him. His limbs felt like they no longer belonged to him. His hunger had transformed into something deeper, a hollow emptiness stretching through his very bones. His skin was dry, his lips cracked. His mind felt light, too light, like it was floating between this world and another. Is this what dying feels like? He squeezed his eyes shut, fighting the dizziness. He had come this far. He would not fail now. And yet, the forest began to shift around him. The trees swayed, even though there was no wind. The shadows seemed to move on their own, curling and twisting. Then, from the depths of the forest, came a soft, steady thudding sound. Hooves. Muthuri's eyes flew open. There, standing at the edge of the clearing, was the great antelope. The glowing eyes. The creature was even more magnificent than before. Its fur sparkled, its antlers reached high like branches of an ancient tree, and its eyes glowed like fireflies trapped in pools of water. Muthuri's breath caught in his throat. The antelope watched him. It did not move. It did not run. It waited. Muthuri's fingers dug into the dry earth. His hunter's instincts screamed at him to act, to seize the moment, to strike before it disappeared again. But he couldn't move. Not because he was weak, but because... He understood now. The antelope was testing him. Had he truly learned patience? The old Muthuri would have lunged without thought, desperate to claim victory. But now he remained still. The antelope's ears twitched, its eyes met his, and suddenly... the vision. The world drifted away. Muthuri was no longer in the clearing. He was somewhere else, somewhere ancient. Before him stood a gathering of elders, men and women dressed in the skins of great animals, their faces lined with wisdom. Behind them stretched a vast savanna, golden and endless, filled with millions of animals. The biggest and strongest beasts, lions, buffalo, leopards, charged across the plains. But they did not rule. Instead, leading them all was a single, calm and patient antelope, the smallest of them all. Muthuri gasped. A voice, deep and ancient, filled the air. Strength is not found in speed. The sky darkened, and suddenly Muthuri saw himself, chasing the antelope, shooting arrows in frustration, growing weaker and weaker. Then he saw a different version of himself, one who waited, who listened, who learned. And in that version, he saw the antelope willingly walking toward him. The voice spoke again. Only those who wait shall be given the gift of true strength. Muthuri blinked. The vision shattered, and he returned. He was back in the clearing. The great antelope was still there. Its eyes glowed, but this time it looked approving. Muthuri took a deep breath. He bowed his head, not in defeat, but in respect. The antelope nodded. Then, with a flick of its mighty horns, it turned and vanished into the forest. But this time, Muthuri didn't panic. He didn't chase it. He simply smiled, because he knew it would return. He had finally learned patience, but the test was not yet over.